Hi, friends and family. I'm glad that you have opened our next session together. We're going to be talking about rounding. Alrighty. Rounding. Rounding was a big challenge for us in our last test. So let's start with the very basics. If I gave you the instructions, round to the nearest 100 or nearest 100, I'm going to give you the number, and I want to see if we can solve it together. 765. Okay, the first thing that we want to look at is where is the 100? Above each number, let's put the place value. 0, 10, 100. Sorry, I said 0. I meant ones. It's been a long day. Ones, tens, hundreds. Right. The next thing that we always need to do is remember, where did they ask us to round it? To the hundreds. We will underline the hundreds place. Okay, now that we've underlined the hundreds place, we want to circle the place value to its right. And like we've talked about in class, we call this the bossy sister or brother because it knows that it can tell the 7 what to do. Okay. I want you to remember our rhyme. You'll probably say it as I say it. 5 or more, let it soar. I like to call these numbers powerful numbers or say they have power. These numbers right here have power. However, the second part of our rhyme, 4 or less, let it rest. These numbers are so sad because they have no power to change other numbers. They are what we would call powerless. Let's look back at 765. This 6 is a bossy sister. You think about it. Talk to mom and dad. Tell them if you think 6 has power. Look at both examples. If you said it has power, you're correct. 6 has power to change 7. And remember the rhyme, 5 or more, let it soar. So 6 is going to tell 7, hey, go one higher, get bigger. So 7 will change to an 8. But we are not finished. See this 0 that we made for ourselves? It's like a little hack. This 0 tells us that everything behind the 7 needs to change to a 0. So my number is 800. Nice. Let's try it again. And this time, instead of doing nearest 100, we're going to try to the nearest 10. That was also kind of tricky for us on the test. So instead of nearest 100, we're going to do the nearest 10. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm going to give you this number, 7,563. All right. Looking at this number, if I say round it to the nearest 10, well, let's label them. Remember how I taught you? Ones, 10, hundreds, thousands. Where is the tens? Here we are. I'm going to change my color. And we underline the tens to show us, hey, this number needs to change. And remember, circle the number behind it to the right. And that's our bossy sister or brother. Okay, you know it. The numbers that are 5 or higher, we let those numbers soar. If it's a bossy sister and it's higher than 5, it has power. But if it's 4 or less, it has no power. It can't do anything. You have to let it rest. When I say it, we're talking about this number here. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So don't get confused on what you change. All right. Does 3 have any power? Nope, it doesn't. It's in this category, so 3 cannot change the 6. And the 6 must stay the same. And what did we naturally draw for ourselves right here? We drew a 0, so you have to remember that the numbers behind it change to a 0. One of my students today said we could pretend like the 7 and 5 are coming to a surprise party. We don't do anything with them until the end, and then they get to come back and see how much the numbers changed, and it's like a surprise. So we add back in the 7 and the 5, and our new answer is 7,560. You guys are brilliant. I hope you liked our rounding video. Please make sure that you practice a few numbers as a family. Have a great evening.